As we all know, a lot of stuff has been going on in the Pokemon market, especially in the Scarlet and Violet era. We've covered the Sword and Shield era. There's been some silent movements happening in the background with Sun and Moon. Now, one thing with Sun and Moon is, of course, it's old and it's really expensive to try and get hold of Sun and Moon, booster boxes, product in general. I found that out myself. I went to do my new mystery packs and I was putting in doing some new wave of mystery packs. And I wanted to put in some older sets, and I was looking at Sun and Moon, and I was like, what on earth is happening here? Everything is so expensive. So today we're looking at TCG Player, and we'll be going through each of the booster boxes in the Sun and Moon era, and we'll be seeing the prices, right? We'll be going through each of the prices of all the different sets, starting with Sun and Moon base, going all the way through to Cosmic Eclipse. And yeah, this is eye-watering numbers. If you have invested in Sun and Moon boxes, then you are doing very well right now. That's all I'm saying. I do have some. I wish I picked up some of these, but I'll be going through every single one. And yeah, let's jump into it, and we can see the amazement of what is going on with Sun and Moon. This will give us a hint of what is potentially going to happen with Sword and Shield, and of course Scarlet and Violet in the future. So let's jump in. Okay, starting things off, Sun and Moon base. We're looking at $410. So can we see what has really been going on over the past year? So of course, not a huge amount of sales. It's quite all right. You're not going to be getting a huge amount of volume shifting here and there. We are looking at a pretty high one. The most recent sale was $675 though. So that is very, very interesting. Let's take a look at this. So yeah, so recently sold 675 and it has been going up. So it was around the 400, about 450 to 500 range. And then recently it's done, look, we got 650 there, 550, 675. So, okay, so we're looking at much higher prices. So if we actually look at it, and I mean, it has gone up quite heavily anyway, 50% from where it was a year ago. But here's the thing, if it's going for now, it's over $600 a booster box. That's very impressive. Now you could be going, Jace, does that mean Scarlet and Violet base can go to that high? I mean, over time, potentially. I mean, if you look at historically all the other base sets, even if you look at XY base set and so on, they're very, very expensive sets. And I'm not saying it would definitely go that way, but it has that potential. Sword and Shield, very expensive. It's over $300 a box for a Sword and Shield base set booster box. So Sun and Moon, yeah, I mean, this is old. I don't know when this first came out, but this is a very, very old set, doing very well. Okay, next up we've got Gardens Rising, not a huge fan favorite set. People not really excited. Yeah, it wasn't really an exciting set. It was kind of a bit boring, really. I mean, as a rule, the second set of a block of an era doesn't tend to do incredibly well. Not always. I mean, you look at Sword and Shield, Rebel Clash, Rebel Trash, not exactly great. Right, so Guardians Rising, not much high expectations there. So again, we're looking at $600. Most recent sale, $800. So again, we're not getting a huge amount of sales, but the last two were $800. So if we go back a year, again, you're not really going to be seeing a lot of movement. Well, you are going to see movement, but not a lot of sales, sorry, with a lot of these products. So keep that in mind, because there's just not a lot of them around anymore. But still, pretty good. And if we could, potentially see Rebel Clash go up to that, I can see Pally and Pally Evolved do very well. I can see that. Pally Evolved is a very, very good set. And there's some fantastic cards, Magikarp, of course, that is in Pally Evolved. So if any second set that come out to reach that high, I think Pally Evolved's got a better shot than Rebel Clash, for sure. Okay, on to Burning Shadows. Kind of interesting. The third set is a Charizard set. The third set in Sword and Shield, Charizard set with Darts Ablaze. And look, Obsidian Flames, third set, Scarlet and Violet. Burning Shadows. So we're looking at $500 to $600 a box. Let's take a look at the most recent sales. We've got a few more sold data here. Has been climbing up quite nicely. It was around 500, and now we're looking at 600, 650 plus for this booster box. This one has seen a reasonably good climb recently. Very top heavy set, big chase card on the Charizard. In my opinion, Burning Shadows is better than Dancer Blaze. Is it as good as Obsidian? I think maybe, just because of how big and difficult and money and crazy value there is in that Charizard. The rest of the set, though, terrible, but very big on the Charizard, very top heavy. People go in with Burning Shadows. What if it's got the Charizard? What if? Just because it's so expensive, and of course in a PSA 10, insanely high value card. So that's one of the reasons why Burning Shadows is pretty good. I do have a box of Burning Shadows. I don't for base, I don't for guardians. Those two were not ones I wasn't really interested in, but I've always felt like Burning Shadows, pretty good. I picked mine up ages ago for like $2.50 a box. Overall, doing pretty well there. Then on to Crimson Invasion, so the 4th set that came out. This would be the equivalent of Paradox Rift now, and this would be the equivalent of Vivid Voltage back in the Sword and Shield era. This is arguably one of the worst sets. A lot of people just don't like Crimson Invasion from the Sun and Moon era, and it definitely reflects on the price. I mean, it's got high volatility, for example. Let's take a look at what's been selling. Looking at $335 a box, hasn't really done much in the longest time. And this is the most important thing with Crimson Invasion. It's a terrible set, but it's a set that still has gone up in value. This is a prime example. Yes, it's not $500, $600, $700 a box that we've seen previously. This is still done relatively well from when it was probably $90 a box, okay? So keep that in mind. So even if you've got a really, really bad set, it still has that potential. I'm looking at used sets like Pokemon Go and Shroud of Fable. This is what you want to aspire to be and go up in value. Crimson Invasion. But yeah, pretty poor set. I don't have a box of it. I'm not interested in ever buying a box of it. So to me, I just think it's just terrible. Next up, we got Ultra Prism. Now, I wish I did buy this set. This is a set I've always wanted in my collection. The 5th set that released, so this is basically the equivalent of Temporal Forces in Scarlet and Violet, and this would be the equivalent of Battle Stars in Sword and Shield. Ultra Prism, I could have picked this up, and I wish I did, for about $350 a box. I think at $400 at one point. And now look at it. Nothing recent. We got anything recently sold? No, we do have recently sold. So over $1,000 a box. Incredible. Like I said, I could have got it for about $350, $400, 2-3 years ago. And I kind of feel pretty gutted that I didn't, of course. And it's shot massively. Incredible set. Big chase card. Beautiful artwork in the set as well. And this is the turning point, as you start to see. And we'll probably see anyway when we continue, because we're going to start getting some real big juicy sets. But overall, I think a lot of people liked Ultra Prism just because of the full art Lily that was in this set. Again, another big top heavy card like the Charizard from Burning Shadows. Where people have that, oh wow, what if it's got the Lily in it, as like the reason to pick this up. But I like the set, I like the artwork and everything about it, so I kind of regret not picking it up though. Okay, then we got Forbidden Light, so set number 6. This would be the equivalent of Twilight Masquerade and Chilling Reign from the Sword and Shield era. So let's take a look at this. Again, we're looking at quite a lot of sales, a decent amount, and it has gone up massively. I mean, at the start of the year, it was $600 a box, and then with sales keep creeping up more and more and more and more and more, it's now $900 a box. Again, this is a set where it wasn't the most exciting. It really wasn't. We're not looking at an Ultra Prism. We're not looking at some of the older sets in the Sun and Moon era. If I had to compare this to a set, Twilight Masquerade, Chill and Reign, in my opinion, I think to be honest, I think Twilight Masquerade and Chill and Reign are better than this set. Definitely Chill and Reign. I mean, could we be seeing Chill and Reign? Could we be seeing Twilight Masquerade reaching these insane highs of $900 a booster box? I mean, Chill and Reign's been doing really well, but it's kind of plateaued a little bit. And of course, Twilight Masquerade is shot massively as well. Like at the end of the day, I think for the time period and for that length of time, it has that potential. I've said it before that I do believe that Chill and Reign is between $500 and $1,000 a booster box, and I think it will get there. Twilight Masquerade, we just don't know yet. It's still a little bit too early to tell. But I would probably say over $500 a box in the future. But yeah, right now, Forbidden Light, very, very big set. Celestial Storm, another set which I wanted to pick up. I could never find one. It was always tricky to find Sun and Moon boxes here in the UK, especially for a good price and also in good condition. It was like super tough. The Celestial Storm was always a tricky one. And I still kind of wish I got it. I like the whole Rayquaza. I love the theme of it. An amazing artwork in the set. So let's look at this. Oh boy. So we look at the beginning of the year. We're looking at $800 a box, pretty respectable. And then we have, then it reached $1,000, which was in February. And then we have here, it was apparently a booster box sold for 1.5k. And then we're up to another booster box here. I guess it's just one box for 2.5k. I mean, that's insane. I mean, not much is sold. Like I said, there's barely any around. So when stuff does sell, stuff sells for an insane amount. All right, an insane amount. This is set. So this would be obviously set number 7. So this would be the equivalent of Evolving Skies from Sword and Shield and Stellar Crown. So very interesting. Very interesting. So Stellar Crown, because Stellar Crown reached this level, I don't believe it. I do not believe it'll reach Celestial Storm level. Evolving Skies, well, we know Evolving Skies story, don't we? It's an incredible set. And yes, I expect Evolving Skies. Look, if Celestial Storm could be 2.5k booster box, you can't tell me the Evolving Skies can't. There's just no way. So for me, I think, yeah, it's an interesting one. Celestial Storm, again, I wish I picked this up. I think the cheapest I found it, like I said, there's barely any around. It's probably around about 600 a box. I mean, now looking, it's very good. But back then, I was like, oh, I didn't want to pay that price. But especially like everything else was around that 300 range. Celestial Storm was like double the price. I was like, maybe not. But obviously, very good. Lost Thunder, another set which I wanted to pick up back in the day. But again, super expensive at the time. Let's take a look at it now. Oh my days. So we go back again, beginning of the year, we look around $800 a booster box, and now most recently sold has doubled in value. So 1.5k for Lost Thunder. Again, Lugia, big set, amazing set. This is number 8, so this is the equivalent of what? Fusion Strike and the equivalent of Surging Spark. Surging Sparks has that potential. Right, it really does. I mean, Fusion Strike, of course, doing really well. I mean, it's like $500 a box. Could I see Fusion Strike be on that Lost Thunder level? I really do. It sounds really weird. Like, I wouldn't have said that in the past, but now it's at the $500. I wouldn't be surprised, right? Could we see it? Maybe. I mean, if you look at, Surging Sparks, I think Surging Sparks will. I think Surging Sparks is an incredible set. I think it's just so good. Irate is one of the best booster box sets, if not the best booster box set in the Scarlet and Violet era currently. Is it going to be better than Destiny Rivals? Who knows? But I think right now, it's doing very well. So yeah, Lost Thunder, huge set, 1.5k. Wowza. Okay, now we're on to the big boy, the main one, Team Up. Oh dear Lord. Has any sold? Okay, alright, good Lord. So we have here, at the end of last year, around Christmas time, just after Christmas, one sold for just under 4k a box. And then in March, one sold for 5.5 grand. Now, I remember when this hit 2k a box, people were losing their minds when this hit 2k. So a year ago, this was 2,000, right? And now we're looking at, 5.5k for a Team Up. This was very underprinted. And we look at set number 9. So this is the equivalent of Brilliant Stars from Sword and Shield and Journey Together. Guys, do you think Journey Together will be the same price as a Team Up booster box? It just isn't gonna happen, right? I would love to have this in my collection down the line, but it'll probably be like 10k a box, by the time, or more than 10k a box by the time. Realistically, if I save up my pennies to try and get something like this is a holy grail item in my opinion. I think this one will go down as one of the best modern era, most expensive, valuable modern era sets ever to exist. And the cards in it are incredible. It's just fantastic. It really is. Is Joining Together going to be on this level for set number 9? No. Is Brilliant Stars? No. Brilliant Stars is fantastic, by the way. But I just don't see it happening. I think Brilliant Stars is better than Joining Together, for sure. But it's just, it's kind of a weird one. Yeah, Team Up, just incredible. Could Evolving Skies reach this level? Probably not. I think Team Up, just because of how little of it was around, is just in a whole different league of its own. Unbroken Bonds, set number 10. I do have a box of this. By the way, I don't have one of Team Up, just to let you know. I do have a booster box of Unbroken Bonds. I think I picked mine up for about 450, I think. 400, 450. We did a box break at this at one point. And yeah, this is very expensive. Let's take a look. Recently sold data. Wow, this one jumped up massively as well. Back in last year, $800. Now we're looking at 1.7k. Good Lord. So yeah, I do have a box of this. Unbroken Bonds, incredible set. A huge amount of Charizards. Portugal, the tag team coming in. Very impressive. Set number 10. So this would be the equivalent of Astral Radiance and Destined Rivals. Destined Rivals going to be better than Unbroken Bonds? I mean, I think as far as the cards and the set is concerned, yeah, is better than Broken Bonds. Like, Destined Rivals will have much better cards than Unbroken Bonds. Astral Radiance is not great. Yeah, it's an okay set, but nowhere near as good, right? And yeah, we're looking at Unbroken Bonds. Could we see Destined Rivals, a few years down the line, 5, 6 years down the line, or basically 6 years down the line, be 1.5k a box? Who knows? Maybe. Potentially. Have to wait and see. Next up, we got Unified Minds. And we did a box break of this a couple of years ago, I think it was, on the channel. I do have this one. I love Unified Minds. That's why I have it in my collection. Let's take a look at the prices for this one. Wowza. So very similar to Unbroken Bonds. A lot more of this is sold, though, recently. So back end last year, $800. And now we're looking at 1.5k. But a lot more of this has been shifting. Huge set, big money cards, big Mewtwo Mew set, Giratina. If you love Psychic Ghost type Pokemon, this is the set. It's so good. Like, it's got incredible cards in it, top notch. Set number 11. So this is the equivalent of Lost Origin, and interesting, Giratina, Lost Origin, Unified Minds. So yeah, Lost Origin, and we don't know what the 11th set is going to be yet for Scarlet and Violet. I think it might be potentially a Black and White era set. I don't know if that would be. I think that might be the next set after Destined Rivals. Don't quote me on that. It might actually, that might be a specialty set. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we still got 2 more sets to come out, of course. So yeah, incredible. Unified Minds, big ticket item here. I'm impressed. Like I said, I bought this for quite cheap. Like, this one I bought for like 250, 280, something like that. 250, 280, a long time ago. Like this was the first Sun and Moon box I picked up, and back then I felt like I was paying a lot of money, and now looking at it, it's absolutely wild. So yeah, very impressive. And again, this goes to show you, this is like top, like I'd say very strong top end, right? End to the Sun and Moon era. The sets just got better and better. It was just absolutely incredible. And then finally, Cosmic Eclipse. I do have a box of this. I picked a box up of this for 400 back when it, well, I say when it came out, definitely when it came out, but I picked it up for 400 a couple of years ago. Set number 12. This is the equivalent of Silver Tempest, and I don't know what's going to be, of course, in Scarlet and Violet yet. So let's take a look at recently sold. So again, we have quite a few sell data here. So beginning of the year, factory sealed, very small rips, $1,000 there. And we've got booster boxes recently sold for over $2,000 for Cosmic Eclipse. Cosmic Eclipse has some incredible cards in it. Absolute home run set to end the Sun and Moon era on. Probably arguably one of the best sets. Now, this was an interesting one because they did actually but they released a lot of Cosmic Eclipse loose packs in a lot of tin products and collection boxes and so on and so forth. Whereas the booster boxes were a little bit harder to come by. So that's one of the reasons why that the packs were a lot cheaper, but the box set was so much more expensive. But yeah, absolutely impressive. But yeah, could we see Silver Tempest reach this level? I don't think so. I don't think Silver Tempest has got it in it. But I do believe that it'd be interesting to see what we get for Scarlet and Violet. What will be the 11th and 12th set to come out, which will be this year, by the way. They will come out this year. It's going to be interesting to see what will be. But yeah, very good end to Sun and Moon. There you have it, guys. That's what's been going on in the Sun and Moon era. Lots of buzz going around, a lot of news and talk and chatter around Scarlet and Violet, and of course Sword and Shield. But in the background, big sales were happening with the Sun and Moon era booster boxes. Some are over $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. Team up, $5,500 a booster box. What is going on? I'm happy to have some of these in my collection I bought a few years ago, but there are some others I really do wish I got them. Will I ever pick them up down the line? Probably. I mean, it's like, here's the thing. I'm not a huge fan of XY era, and I'm not a huge fan of really Black and White and to go further back until you go back to some of the Wizard of the Coast era stuff. So for me, I'm not that interested. However, Sun and Moon era I really do like, and even if I just get hold of one of each for my collection, I think that would be very cool. Whereas with Sword and Shield, I was more involved with Sword and Shield. I have a lot more of them than I do with Sun and Moon. But Sun and Moon, guys, it gives us a snapshot of what could happen. And you see in booster boxes come out, and they were anyway around that 100 range. They were still. You're looking at sets at MSRP. Yes, it feels terrible to buy them right now. It feels bad, and you're like, oh mate, why am I buying up these booster boxes for 150 or 160 or whatever it is, or on TCG players 200. Look where some of these sets are in the Sun and Moon. I'm not saying that they all go that way, but let's put things into perspective. You go back even further, X, Y, and even further beyond, guess what? Boxes are more expensive than the Sun and Moon ones. So keep that in mind, guys, moving forward when you're looking to invest, especially if you're looking to hold that long term. That's the goal, not to flip it quickly, but to hold on for dear life, basically, with some of these sets. But if you made this far in the video and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button, make sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments about what's going on with Sun and Moon. Do you have any? Do you have any team up? That's what I want to know. I do regret not getting some of these when they were under 500 a box, but it is what it is. But that's it for me, guys, in today's video. If you watch more Pokemon content, make sure to click the video on the screen, and of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.